right, BLAKWomen Radio. Listen, guys, I am excited. Let me say it 3 times so you understand. I'm excited, excited, excited. I'm in space with Black women. This is Black Women History Month. This is BLAKWomen Radio's rendition of Women History Month. So it's National Women History Month in the States. But we do, of course, we black up everything. Let's come on. We know what's going down over here. We do everything black. So we are platforming 10 Black women that are doing 10 different things and being amazing in their 10 different spaces. And I am just so, and I'm the 11th Black woman. Let's get it right. So I'm 11. So it's going to be 10 of us all month. And I am just so happy for this series because it really makes me sit on the other side and just look at Black women. This is how amazing Black women are. I'm a little biased, real talk, but I can definitely see why Black women is just a standard, baby. We special, super, super special. I am Queen. I am a host of BLAKWomen Radio. We are a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. We platform Black people. We expose Black genius. And more than anything, we disseminate information. And that's to the Black community, but also to other communities. Our goal is to create this authentic, grassroots space for Black people, for us to talk about our shine and our grind. So we do this from 6 to 9 times a month. And I want you guys, listen to me now, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Say it again. Like, share, and subscribe. And the next thing, comment. I need a little comment, say something about what we're doing, because we're really trying to build this space on YouTube. Because you see, we're in a real chaotic, let me talk to you for a second. We're in a real chaotic time in the States, in the US. And it's a lot of chaos. And we need to have an authentic space where we can talk. We really need that. We need to talk about the things that's going on out here. We need to unite. That's one thing we need to do. We need to look at our toolbox, add some good stuff to it. We see how the world is changing right in front of our eyes. And us having relationships and building community is the only way we're going to go forward. And so this is what this is. This is the BLAKWomen Radio community, but it's a community for Black people. So I want you guys to sit down, chill out, get your drink, because Black women about to talk. We're starting this sister circle right here. This is sister circle. And I got my friend, my buddy. Listen, I've been trying to get this woman. Let me be transparent. I've been trying to sit down with this lady probably about 2 years. I'm telling you, this is a 2-year culmination of work. I work for this right here. That's why I'm smiling. You see all my teeth? Because this has been work. I got her here. Danielle Battle, say hi to the people.
Hi, everybody. It has been a long time. I'm busy. I got a lot of things going on.
She got a lot of things going on for sure. And her wonderful husband is already here. I just love it. Mr. Battle. She is gorgeous. That's right, bruh. I love when you're coming in hot. He coming in hot. I love that. But yeah, I've been trying to get this lady in this seat across from me for a minute because I know she's amazing. I know she does amazing things. I'm in Baltimore. I see the work. And so it's just a pleasure to have you here. I mean, I just want to welcome you to the box, and just thanks for sitting with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for making me feel valuable. So I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, you are valuable, and you definitely are. In Baltimore, we know about you. See, we know about the battles. The battle is the Lord, baby, and these two, they doing it. So we know about the battles. And so, I want to kind of tell the folks. I always share everything. Me and Mike was in a social entrepreneurship. The Elevation Award. We were in the same cohort. And so that's how I met Mike and the things he was doing with the Rich program. But when you see a man, there's a Black woman. Just remember that. Every Black man, there's a Black woman. And so I always wonder who was the Black woman until I met the Black woman. And here she is. And she's special, baby. She's special. So kind of tell us first where you from, how you got into Baltimore, and then we're going to jump into talking about the Rich program.
Sure. So I'm actually from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I came to Baltimore in '93 to go to Morgan State University. I had only ever been to Baltimore for about 5 hours prior to coming here. I didn't visit the college. I had a friend that told me about Morgan, and I got a free ride, and everybody said, go where the money is. So I went where the money was. My first couple of months, I was like, I'm gonna be here for 4 years and then I'm out. I was like, these people are rough. You know, I'm Minnesota. We do Minnesota nice. Like you say hi to everybody, and people
It's
be
like
on the
rough.
yeah, you say hi to everybody. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, they don't say hi. Nobody don't talk to you.
No.
Nothing.
And I've never changed. Like I've been here for over 30 years at this point.
Oh, wow.
And I I just stayed, and in my mid 30s I met Mike, and in the middle of us dating he had an idea for a prayer walk. I said, "Okay." I thought he was just talking. You know, everybody got an idea. And the next day he was like, I got some hot dogs and a marching band. And I was like, oh, we're really doing this. And that's how we started. And we have never stopped. So the Rich program has had some different names, but the Rich program has been a part of us since we were dating.
It started from a prayer walk.
Mhm. We had 32
Wow.
people. We had 32 people, a couple hot dogs. We had a little hot dog cooker that broke. We went to the dollar store, got a grill. Like,
I
and that's
love
how
it.
we always run it. Like, whatever's in our way, we're going to figure it out because we're never not going to give back to the community that needs us. And that has just kind of been the epitome of how we did it. After our first prayer walk, said, what should we do different next time? And I said, I
Mm.
don't know what we should do different, but I know we should just show up. Because being on the
Mm.
other side, you know, I'm not from a community like Cherry Hill at all. My
Yep.
first home was in a community similar to Cherry Hill. But I was like, when I taught, I used to be a teacher, and I was very intentional of only working for schools that were located in opportunity excluded neighborhoods, because I learned early on that gifted teachers didn't go to schools that were like rife with kids who were struggling through poverty, you know, and they would go to little la-di-da schools or whatever. And I said, well, I will never. And as a teacher, as an assistant principal, as a district leader of mathematics, my aim has always been to make sure that Black and Brown students' voices were heard and amplified in classrooms. And then I later went on to do that, training teachers and leaders all over the country about that same amplification. All that really comes from the work with Rich, right? Like,
Yeah.
to be on the other side. I don't know. I don't know what you want to ask me. I just started talking. I can't help
No, no,
it.
no, no. Because I'm going to say the Rich program is what we're going to talk about. So keep going.
Yeah.
Keep.
So I really feel like that really kind of primed the well for me to be the other half of the Rich program. You know, when I met my husband, he was like, we're so different. You know, I have a lot of degrees. He has an 8th grade education. And I was like, you're the smartest person I've ever had a conversation with. You just didn't know it. Like, being abused by the education system in no way is indicative of what your intellectual levels are. Right. So, and you can see it now. You've met him, like, that's a brilliant Black man. And sometimes it just needs somebody to just kind of like unearth the diamond, And so, because of our different backgrounds, because of just, we are so different, but we have the same kind of passion, that it allows us to really be able to create this program so that wherever we are, we can speak to whoever the crowd is and get what we need for this community. Because I refuse, right, to let any community that I value go underserved and to be excluded from any kind of opportunities that are on the table.
Hmm. That's a lot you said. Oh my goodness. And I love you said unearth the diamond, because I mean you apply pressure, because
Mhm.
pressure makes diamonds. And so you put some pressure in the pot, and he stood up and said, I like this pressure.
Yes.
And yeah, that's that, and that is beautiful. And that's one of the things as Black women too, being this most educated dynamic in the US, sometimes we're looking for these certain type of men, and there's all type of men out here. And sometimes we got to look everywhere. And like you said, unearthing the diamond, you find someone 10 toes down, love you up, community minded, family oriented, all of this good stuff that you would have looked past because they're not degreed up.
Right.
So yeah, we got to look at that too, because we're trying to say we're lonely and we need some mates, but there are mates. And sometimes we
There's a
look
lot of
at
mates. I dated men, I've dated lawyers,
mm-hmm.
pastors, accountants, like a lot of things. And Mike was the first man that made me feel like, yeah, I could have a conversation with you for the rest of my life.
Whoa.
And that's like key for me. I love to talk. I like to teach. I like to learn. And so he was the first person where I was like, every day we talk, we're both happy and excited. You know, I've been with men who like, they only wanted to talk about their specialty to try to minimize the moment, you know, and I'm like, here's this
Yes.
guy who just has this huge heart. I was like, listen, I'm willing to give it a shot.
You know, because heart is everything.
It's
That's when you can feel a person and they
yeah,
make you feel good, and you can feel their heart. I always say, you know, I'm at this age, I'm looking at your heart. It's not even the out shell. What's your
yeah.
heart doing? You
I
know,
know, but
your
his
heart.
daughter Shell is so cute.
You better go, girl. Listen, I love it. I love it. Even Michael said, unearth the diamond.
Yes.
I said it too, Mike. And then he said, talk that talk. That's right. Talk about your man, baby.
Right.
Shoot, he's yours. That's what's up. I love that. And Black love, baby. We celebrate Black love. So that's a beautiful thing. When we can see Black women and Black men
Yep.
being together, sharing, and also helping the community, that's a win-win for all of us.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And now you guys are helping others. It's a win
Yep.
for all of us. Yeah.
When we first started, I stayed very much in the background for a lot of
Okay.
reasons. Number one, Cherry Hill wasn't my community at the time, you know, and I'm very sincere about the fact that I don't, different cultures, right? Even in community cultures are super valuable to me. And what I do know is that neighborhoods like Cherry Hill always have an outsider come in trying to tell you exactly what you need. They got this Band-Aid that worked in Chicago or whatever, right? And that's not what anybody needs. You know, each community has their own uniqueness about them. And so my idea was you just shut up and serve food, because food is love. Get to know people, you know. And I also, at the same time, I really wanted this neighborhood to see their young Black men come back and love on the neighborhood, right? And so that was very much an important thing to me. So I definitely stayed in the background for a few years until a woman, Kathy McLean, actually, who works in the neighborhood as well, who's from Cherry Hill. And she said, enough, like, you've done enough. Everyone knows Mike now. People need to see a Black unit, like a Black marriage, like Black couples do this work together. And she was like, that's just as valuable, because you know, the world is telling us that we don't thrive and flourish together. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I was like, and plus, I don't mind talking and being out front now. But no, so she really put that spin. I was so, you know, when you love someone, like I love him so much, I was like, I want your community to be so proud of you. And she was like, the community is very proud of him, but the community needs to know and love you as well, you know. And now I've been dubbed like a Cherry Hillian, and I wear it proud. Like, it's like one of my favorite, you know.
I love Cherry Hillian. I love that. And listen, shout out to Miss McLean. That is insightful. And she's absolutely right. You know, Mike was known in Cherry Hill, and you were, of course, a visitor. But once you marry in and you start serving the community, they need to know you too. Yeah. So I'm loving on that. That's shout out to her. That was a good deal. Good deal right there. And you know, Mike, he said your husband must be from Cherry Hill.
Why somebody letting him comment?
I love his little comments. He is commenting up a store. But we got to talk about Cherry Hill, because I want folks, you know, the folks in Japan and the folks in, you know, Portugal. We want to know what Cherry Hill and the type of place that Cherry Hill is in Baltimore. Can you tell the folks a little bit about Cherry Hill?
Sure. So Cherry Hill is like geographically the bottom of Baltimore. So you have the harbor, and then kind of Baltimore proper is all up here. And there's a little corner that's the bottom of Cherry Hill. And what's crazy is, and what I realized is that if you're not from Cherry Hill, or if you just don't know, then you might describe it also as the bottom of Baltimore, right? Not physically, but like people have a lot to say about Cherry Hill. When I first got here, somebody had spray painted the words Cherry Hill on a wall, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so beautiful. And everybody was like, don't go there. And I'd never been to Cherry Hill until we were dating.
It's like his own island.
I was like, whoa. And I got there and I was like, oh my gosh, it's this little city on the water. This is so cute, you know. And don't get me wrong, if you look at the demographics, right? If you look at the numbers, it does have a higher crime rate. It does have a lower like school, you know, the test scores and things are lower than, well, everybody's test scores are low right now, let's be honest. You know, but when you really get in and you look at this community, it's really a very tight-knit community. Like it's, you know, and the thing is that, of course, there's going to be violence when you construct a neighborhood to be this way. And so Cherry
That's what
Hill
I
was
wanted you to say.
Cherry Hill was very well thought out. So I always tell people that
It's
systematic
intentional.
waste is one of
Yes.
the most well-designed entities I have ever come in contact with, right?
Mm.
And so Cherry Hill was designed for Black vets. And so what they did was they overcrowd this little area. And then as it changed, as the years went on, you have this high population of people who are given very little to survive, no opportunities, no real way out, which is designed that way, right? So of course you're frustrated, you don't have anything, and you're mad. And when you're mad, and all these three little things that make this little island, right? The water, the streets, and the railroad tracks, then all you have is the frustration within this little confine, right? And so you're going to have more violence, right? When you feel like you're less than, when people talk down to you, when you turn on the TV, nobody wants to say anything good about Cherry Hill. We still have a news station here that refuses to post anything great about Cherry Hill. But let one little thing happen, they're all on it and everybody's down there. You know, shout out to everybody else that comes and enjoys Cherry Hill. But like, so a big thing for our work is to not just love on the community, which we'll talk about, but also is to really kind of change the narrative.
Yeah.
You know, and being allowed to be in spaces where I speak a lot. You know, I was in Texas last week at a huge convention talking openly about Cherry Hill, letting people know from all over the country, because whenever I'm given the chance, I'm going to talk about it because people need to understand. People need to understand that it's not, there's no biological differences to who lives in Cherry Hill as opposed to anywhere else. It's that there's a structure designed to make you feel like less than, no matter what you say. And until you repeatedly hear that you have these assets, that you matter again and again and again, it takes a lot. It's so easy to implant a negative thing on somebody. It's naturally who we all are, right? Because you can have one little troll that you don't even know on Instagram say something crazy, but you got 45 people who you actually know who hype you up, and you can't sleep because of that. That's how we're designed as people.
Yes.
People use that design to whisper into all these Black and brown people in this corner, in multiple corners, not just Cherry Hill, right? And so when you understand that you have to be a voice, not just me, like all of us, like you got to lift each other up all the time. And so we make sure, like when the news comes out, when anybody comes out, anytime that we're allowed to talk, that it is complete asset-based speech. I'm not going to talk about, I don't care if somebody just died outside 10 seconds. If you had to climb over the police tape to come
about it.
Camera on, listen, I'm talking about the sunshine, beautiful people that are in there, because there's police tape everywhere, but people don't want to say that. So I'm here to make sure that we amplify the goodness of Cherry Hill while we also do this work.
Oh, you're a Cherry Hillian for sure. You're right, sis. You're a Cherry Hillian, and I mean, because we got to talk about how intentional they build these situations, like for Black vets. But we're talking about one of the biggest public housing development in the country at one time, that you build in one area and you control the resources and you house people in a certain way, and they have schools. Cherry Hill has not had a grocery store in 25 years. So we're talking about no fresh food.
Right.
We're talking about a food desert. So food apartheid. These things are intentional. And we're talking about the water now. So Baltimore's a port city. It's bringing in goods 24/7. It is the third largest port in this country. And you can't get a fresh food in Cherry Hill that's right beside the port. That's intentional. And so we got to be very clear about what we're talking about. Cherry Hill it does have issues, but the issues are intentional.
Very intentional.
You can't house people like animals, expect them to be saints. It don't work like that.
No.
And so that's why we want you to talk about
it. People. You can't feed people processed people. You know, I can go all day about some nutrition now.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about veganism. Let's go. Go ahead.
You can't feed people overly processed food. You can't feed people. You have to think that almost every processed element, let's just talk about corn for 1 second, and then I'm going to get off of this. Almost every processed element has corn in it, high fructose corn syrup, because it's cheap. It's cheaper than sugar, all of this, right? So I'm talking about bread, I'm talking about like everything, unless you have like the actual thing that comes like a potato, right? A tomato, like, or meat. Like these things
Corn is
have
not for the
all
human
of these
body.
things in it.
Yeah.
Corn is one of the top allergens in the world because especially in America, because it's been so modified and it messes with your behavior. So a
Oh.
lot of times when people talk about, I can't be feeding my baby sugar because no. What the problem is corn. Your kid is having an allergic reaction to corn. An adult is having an allergic reaction to corn. People don't talk about it.
Hmm.
And so you look and they put it inside of every cheap element that they can. So think about you go and you get, some white bread with some fried fish on it and some, Western fries coated in flour and some other seasonings. And then you get a half and half or whatever. The bread's got high fructose corn syrup in it. The flour that the batter that's on the fish probably does also. The tea has it. So you're looking at a lot of, it's,
And
I
then
don't know.
seed oil is fried in seed oil. We could just keep going.
You
And
can
this is
keep
the
going.
food that's available to these people,
Right,
and you expect for them to not act out.
right.
It's not humanly possible. It's not humanly possible. And you calling them out, sis. You don't went into the ingredients because that's the problem. The food is the
That's the
issue.
problem. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I eat corn all the time. I love it. But I also like am aware.
Oh, I
But
love
like
the art.
I just try to always be honest. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a vegan. I know we can be jerks to people all day long, right? And that's never my point. But my point is
Mhm.
that when you, especially like if you walk in our juice bar, if you want to talk, I'll talk to you about anything that you need to help heal your body. It doesn't have to be the way that I eat. I'm always going to be honest about here's what this leads to. But the reality is that we work hard to bring information that's bite sized and that can change somebody's life. I'll talk freely about whatever kind of way that I know to help heal you. Now I'll be like, now here's the big way, here's the small way, right? Because if I try to beat you down with any of my beliefs that are huge, then that doesn't work. So you got to lead with love and understanding. And that's what we try to do in everything that we do. Because if everybody's just a little bit better, then we're going to start healing our people.
Ooh, love that. Let's talk to the black boxes. Brother John said, I can dig that. So he in the conversation. He digging it. Is three is enough. Three is enough. Eight. She said, "Hey, Danny." I don't know who that is. She said I too married into Cherry Hill. So she's a Cherry Hillian too. I love that. And Therese said, "I love Cherry Hill." So you got some
And I
Cherry
love
Hill there.
it.
You got some people love, and Mike. He
You know.
congratulated. He said that girl is good, baby. That Mike, get off here, Mike. I love it. Keep commenting. So I just wanted to bring the black boxes in here. But what you're saying is really the truth. And he said this is the other Danny. So this somebody
Oh,
this somebody you know.
yeah.
That's definitely somebody you know. So tell us a little bit what the Rich program is and who are you serving? Let's hear a little bit about the Rich program.
So my official statements are no. So the Rich program, really what we do is we offer like a three-pronged approach. Our mission is to love, inspire, and empower youth and families in Baltimore City. And we have a heart for Cherry Hill. And we do
Okay.
that through three different ways, which are way more than three, but that's the easiest way to make it bite-sized. Number one, we have community programming. So that's how we started. That's the heart of who we are. So you're going to see us doing back to school events, prayer walks, Christmas and Thanksgiving giveaways, drives. We support other people in their whatever their outreach events are. Any way that we can help, we do. We do reality checks, which are youth-based programming where people from all over come and speak. We do it sort of gender-based, so the boys or the girls or whatever, and then those people speak so that you see people who look like you or who come from neighborhoods like yours, and what they're doing with their life across the board. Right. We try to include somebody that's political. So that's our outreach. And then we have our adult programming. And right now, and keep in mind, we always ebb and flow because we try to make it be authentic for where we are. Right. So right now, our big focus with our adults is our job and resource fairs. We did some soft skills training for a while, but what we realized was we needed to offer job fairs that had employers come out and interview on site. And we knew
Mm,
that by doing that, you minimize that space that it takes to go from looking for a job to getting a job. We try to
yeah.
get folks who are willing to interview and even considered hiring on the spot. Um, Because the thing is if you decide I'm ready to get a job and say you haven't had one in a while or maybe ever, right? There's a lot of things that happen from making that decision to walking into your first day. And we want to eliminate as much of that white noise as we can. So then when you
Yes.
come out and you know that there's going to be active employers right there, then we also offer CPR or whatever. We have any resource that wants to come out as well. We usually have the clinic trucks come out because the thing is that we want to be a whole resource, not just we're just going to do this one thing, this one moment. We know if we can pull that, our last one, we had 180 people came out. And so that was 180 people that were able to look at local in the area jobs. And we know that those were 180 people that were also able to walk to these resource tables and learn new things and get what they need. And now we talk to folks, I've been talking to people who are a little bit deep into politics and think about how can you bring a resource to the folks, because these times are different. And so we want to make sure that everybody is actually getting information that they need to make valuable decisions, get folks to understand it's not just the presidential race. You need to worry about your judges. You need to worry about your Senate. You need to worry about the House, because these people have power that we don't think about. And so getting them, where do I get my resources from? So that's like what we're working on now, is to how to bring that. But so like I said, it's always evolving, because what 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that wasn't a prime element of need. Where now we're seeing, we had no idea we were going to need it this bad, right?
And so then we have adjust to the need, and that makes sense.
So we adjust to the need. We had a woman one year came up to us in a grocery store and was like, "Let me tell you what I need right now." We were like, I was like, "Oh no, now I gotta figure this out because he's gonna say yes."
And you're gonna do it. Something to do.
We did it, right? Like, so those are the two. Our main thing that we are most known for is our youth programming. So we do after school programming, summer programming. We have a youth workforce development, which sprouted from our kids growing up. So now we have the rich juice bar. But so with our youth programming, a big thing is, even though I was in education for a very long time, we knew we wanted to do, homework help and tutoring. But when Mike started to think about that, I was like, I really want to speak a little different to you. I said, the thing is that we can have academics, but I do not want us to focus on academics. I was like, because the reality is that, so the majority of kids in Black and brown kids in schools, like in the Cherry Hill area, right, are struggling. Right. And so you think you go to, let's just take math, because that's my favorite thing. You go to math class, you're not great in it. Say you're 3 years behind, right? So the whole time you're in class, somebody's working on that. And then you're going to get pulled out into a small group so that you can work on it again. And so then maybe at lunch once a week, you go to the math lunch bunch, and then you're working. So every time you turn around, you're working on this subject that you're not really that good at. And then you start to devalue it. Because now you're like, well, what am I in school for? I'm not good at this, right? Yeah. And so the idea is that when you leave school and you come to us, instead of us pounding the math into you one more time, instead what we do is we bring in folks who, I don't know, teach you STEM with dirt bikes, B360, maybe show you urban farming, Black Yield Institute, like the list goes on and on. Maybe they teach you social emotional learning through improvisational comedy, little laughs. So what we really do is all day.
I love that.
We go and find like-minded individuals who have small nonprofits or large nonprofits or for-profits, but that reach out to that, do this outreach thing also. We find out people who agree with our mindset, and we bring them down to Cherry Hill. And so now we have kids who had no idea that they love to row, because we have the Baltimore Rowing Club is one of our partners. We have the first
get on the water
rowing team ever, even though that rowing club has been there for so long, right? And so we just go, and as we meet more people, we bring them in so that our kids, our point is that we want to offer them diverse experiences and lead with love. That's the main thing. So if you walk through the door, you have to be willing to cultivate relationships with all of the kids that come into our program. And then you bring your talent to the table. And so we allow everything. We've had the tattoo museum one summer, did art programs with our kids. They loved it. Like, we're not above or beyond anything. What we want to do is we make sure we believe in who you are as a human and what your skill is to bring to the table. Because What I'm not going to do is have my kids be treated like guinea pigs. Like, oh, I got an idea. Let me put it up here. I don't know you. No, 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 no.
That's right.
And we
You can
want,
provide more trauma. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a big thing. So in the during the school year, we focus on middle school age kids, and we have a new high school program that we're developing. Holla at you next year. And we take some younger ones, but mainly we're middle school and early high school at this point. And then in the summer, we are a big focus on high school. We do take some middle school kids, and we have about 100 kids in Cherry Hill throughout the summer, and they rotate photography. We have Jermaine Gibbs Studio. We're creating all kinds of beautiful things. Like, we are pulling top tier people. So you have people so for example, the studio I talked about, they do the Black menswear pop-ups all over the country. These people are coming to work with our babies in Cherry Hill. We do not take this lightly. We are working to give our kids the best of the best, the cream of the crop, because they deserve it just like everybody else. And what you'll start to see is, for example, in our Rich Juice Bar, all of our kids that are working there right now all made the honor roll. Every single one of them.
Love it.
Because we talk about it. We talk about like the importance of education. Now we're not tutoring any of them. You know what I mean?
They're just working hard. They want to be a part of it. Yeah, they're working hard.
And you know, we make sure, because sometimes like one little girl was working too hard. I said, listen, if you don't tell me that you need off for a basketball game, we're gonna have a problem. Because I need you. High school is important. I want you to be doing all, you know.
Yes.
So it's more than just instilling that. You know, we work, you know, I could give you like the things that we put in our grants, right? We work on financial literacy. We were doing that. We had a bank coming out, and we realized it was a little too much for our kids. We got a new partner who talks about Cash App, who talks about those things that they're really doing. So we're restructuring that. And like I said, we're always evolving, always changing, because we want to make sure that we're meeting the need, not just saying that we're meeting the need. So sometimes that gets rough and it gets exhausting. You know, sometimes you look up and you're recalibrating. It almost feels like you're like starting from scratch. You know how they said that every 7 years, all of your cells in your body have regenerated. So you're a new person every 7 years. So next year is our 7th year with our youth programming. So I feel like right now we're finishing that regeneration. And so next year is like this new us. So I'm excited as always, but yeah, so I know I said a lot, but that's the Rich program in a nutshell.
I want to tell the people, this is a disclaimer. She's a speaker, y'all. So she's speaking paragraphs. So we're going to let her speak. I love it. But, you know, what I'm hearing though, is that we're building humans, and we got to be, when someone is intentional about degrading your life, there has to be something intentional about upgrading your life. If you're going to build humans, and we're building young people, we're building families, because these young people are going back to families excited and being different and showing what they're getting outside of the home. This is very important. It is so important that we pour into children and give them experiences. Sometimes we always want to say academics, but they need experiences. They need exposure. They need to try different things so they can imagine, because a lot of times we don't have an imagination for Black children. You know, when I see it's something to do, they want them to clean up. You know, no one says, well, let's teach them some technology. No, let them clean up the alley. No, they need to have real experiences. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. Absolutely appreciate what you guys are doing. And I'm telling you, you got it going over here. One of my girl in California, she said, did y'all need a nurse?
Listen, Hotel California.
She want to work, baby.
Listen, holla at your girl, Danielle'sProgram.org. We'll figure it out.
You better hit it up.
Got her degree in nursing about 3 weeks ago. So listen, we're building, medical might be next. So you reach out, Hotel California, because we're trying. Listen.
I love it. And listen,
there's Kathy McLean. That's the one that I told you. That's the one
I know. I said Miss McLean and said, hey, Miss McLean. I love it.
I'm here, Miss Kathy, but Auntie, I just shouted you out earlier.
Shouted you out, man. So we want to say ashe to you, because you made Danny step up, and she's shown out. And so we really appreciate how you put that little, you know, we need our older women to sometimes whisper in our ear. And it definitely helps. So Mama Kathy, we appreciate you for sure. Sister Lynn said, great conversation, great information. Keep us woke. Oh, I'm going to try. And this sister said, Cherry Hill, we're coming and we're bringing the best. Loving it. Loving it. I mean, it's on fire in here. And she said they definitely need exposure and experiences. That is so true. That is so true. And so I try to bring the comments into, because, that's part of what we do to the people that's coming to see us. So we really want to give them some love too. So the Rich program is now doing juice.
Yes.
Now I remember the beginning. I got footage, guys, so you can't tell me nothing. I came in the door at the beginning. I've seen you guys. Now you guys have a few locations. I am just so proud of the juice part that you put in Cherry Hill that doesn't even have a grocery store. Talk about it. Tell us about it.
So all of that was intentional. Also, so I think what needs to be said, and usually I say it early on, is all of this, even how Michael and I got together, all is just ordained by God. Because I'll be transparent. Mike was like, we're gonna like, we had an entrepreneur. We always have an entrepreneurship class, right? That's how we focus on financial literacy. So we did t-shirt printing, which is difficult with young people in that hot press. We were started a bike courier service and thought about doing something a little natural as a pop-up, and it slowly gravitated towards juice. God made opened a space and really help us. Catholic Charities helped us. We got our location right in the Cherry Hill Town Center. And it was cool because it was a place for me to really start to flex my vegan roots, right? And Mike was like, we're going to do this. So we got to make these juice flavors. And he would have these ideas and be like, can you make it? And I was like, in all transparency, before our juice bar, I didn't even drink juice. I was a Weight Watchers girl. So if you ever do Weight Watchers, they're like, don't drink juice. That's too many points, right?
Yeah, that's sugar.
But they were talking about that concentrated juice. I didn't know, right? And so what I learned was that I really had a gift for blending these flavors together. And what started to happen was we really started to have this outlet to start to talk to people. So it's not just juice. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the best juice you're going to get. It's the best acai bowls in Maryland. Say what you want. Ask your mom. She'll probably are the answer. We do smoothies. We also have a holistic pharmacy on the side, so you can get some bitters or powders. We have adaptogens available, natural toothpaste, soaps, a little bit of everything, because the thing is what we know and what we use, we want everybody else to use. We have wellness shots that, to be honest with you, we've watched 2 people who are beating cancer really become strong warriors just by taking these ginger shots. We have a run club, a Black run club, that uses it as their shots that they take before they hit the road and do distance running, just because of the things that we make sure. So I may not have been a juice drinker, but what I have been is somebody who really knows that the healing power of food. And so taking that knowledge and the palette that I have to make these flavors, and even how we blend our smoothies, the whole idea, if you come, is that the juice works for everyone. If you've never done cold pressed juice before, if you're a long time cold pressed juice lover, you're going to enjoy. We usually have 5 flavors in the juice bar. You're going to enjoy at least 4 of the flavors, right? We have a beet juice that young kids come in and ask for, because we make sure that I can't get you to put the good stuff in your body if it doesn't taste good, right? And so we small batch blend everything. We don't just put it all together and press it and hope for the best. We juice each individual flavor and I small batch blend it, all of it, and make Mike taste it, make everybody, all of our different palettes when we're in the room, to make sure that it's something that everybody likes. So we are very intentional with all of the flavors that we use, so everything in there is vegan. Some things are bad because you can get that good, delicious cookie butter on top of your bowl, and it is a game changer. So, but
really? I didn't try that yet.
Listen,
I'm going to try that. That acai bowl is popping. Really?
Just wait. Just say, yep, I need a little cookie butter. It's going to change your life. I guarantee it.
Oh my God.
You heard of this thing called cookie butter? And I was like, yeah, I was trying not to let you know, because it's so good. So
really?
yeah, it's so good.
I got to try it. So I'm going to talk about it when I get it. I'm coming over. I'm going to pick that up, because I love y'all acai bowls. I love the acai bowl. That's my thing. So I'm going to try that cookie butter. I never even thought that. My goodness.
good. So when you come in,
She said the cookie
there
butter
you go.
changed her life.
Listen. So we always have a minimum, depending on the time of year, we're gonna have 3 kids and up to like 12 kids that work the juice bar. And it's just because
Oh,
in the summer we can have more because of the hours, right? So in the winter it's harder because there's a smaller window for us to work those babies. So if you want to
yeah.
see our babies, we suggest you come in around 4 o'clock and see who's
Mm.
in there. But you'll be impressed. All of them know a lot about the flavors, the why behind the different things. And so it excites me to watch young people really, there we go.
She said, baby, that
Watch
sorry about cookie butter is crazy. I hear you, Danny. I hear you, sis. I got to try it. They got all of everybody talking about it.
Listen, this, and you can ask any of the kids that are in there, they'll be like, no, you want that cookie butter. So, but no, so it gives kids, so we wanted them to have an opportunity to work, right? So it's our youth workforce development. We wanted them to learn more about how to balance their finances. And now we're figuring out a way to really make that work for who they are, as opposed to like this ideal that people have. I don't ever want us to spend time teaching something that can't be learned. Right. So we're making all of that work and getting that redefined right now, which is very exciting. But another thing is watching these young people start to understand. Like, you work in the juice bar and you're like, this is my job. I love Mr. Mike, whatever. But then all of a sudden you start to understand like what ashwagandha is, because people come in there like, what is this?
Yes.
And like it helps
learning
calm,
the herbs.
really, and so we don't. It's just exciting to watch them blossom. We have a girl who's been with us really since pretty much the beginning, and she is poised to become like a junior adult worker. And so I just sent her a message earlier today about her first shift, and she is so excited. And I'm like, I'm excited because I've watched you blossom into somebody who's ready to like take on the challenge. Hey, Ayana, I know, baby, I'm proud of you. So yeah, so we're
proud of you, Ayana. I am like, wow, you're making leaders, like you're cultivating, and that's beautiful.
It's exciting, even watching the other kids, because when we were making the decision, we talked to the other kids, like, how would you feel about this? And they're like, no, we would love to work with her. She's a great leader, And so not just creating like leaders who take the role number one, but leaders who also respect the fact that somebody takes the role and they support them, because sometimes we forget about that element. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I lead. That's easy. That's the spotlight. That's the fun. You get all, but to have those other kids who are in developing and building their skills and knowing that somebody has to do it, like that's authentic leadership, is even when you're not the leader. And so watching that start to develop inside of our kids is also exciting. Watching them promote open like spaces to their friends, and talk so highly about the job that their friends are blowing up Mike's phone like, well, we want to work. And I'm like, listen, y'all, we got to get to the summer. We got to get to the summer, y'all. But so that's the fun. That's the excitement. It's not easy. If anybody's ever tried to open food service, it usually stays in the red for 5 years, so it's glamorous, but it's hard work to like balance and make sure that it's, that it's steady and that we can still be this resource to people. But the payoff is watching these kids like flourish and be so excited, or watching the community come in. And, somebody asked me the other day, like, I want to know more about plant-based eating. I don't want to be a vegan. I'm like, listen, you're good. So watching us be a resource on so many different levels. And because we've been in Cherry Hill to love on folks from every different level, that when you now think about health and nutrition, that it's just a natural movement. So people are definitely willing to still listen, and watching people thrive like while doing chemo, which is one of the, hardest things ever. And watching these kids, rally for folks and be there. So all of it just is really amazing.
Wow. I'm like, wow. And look what hotel. She said, I already filled out my application. She coming. She all the way to California, 847. She's coming. She's coming.
Girl, that's the summer. Give it to the sun.
so, so she said she's coming, but that's amazing. So you're not only pouring into them, and you're actually making like young leaders, but they're learning too. They're learning about fruits, they're
Yep.
learning about vegetables, they're learning about herbs and things that sustain the body. A lot of times when you live in these neighborhoods that are compromised, you don't get that type of
Right.
education. Yeah,
Right.
and you're not getting that because you're eating from the carryout chicken box half and half.
Yep.
You really don't have a juice bar in a neighborhood that doesn't have. I want y'all to know it doesn't have a grocery store.
Right.
So it doesn't have a grocery store. So this is almost like the freshest they're going to get in the neighborhood. And so I love that they're there and they're learning to be leaders, and they're looking at their schoolwork. So they want to be all around individuals. That's what we got to be built. And that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. So now you're in Cherry Hill, but we're moved on. Where we at now?
So we are in Cherry Hill. That is our
And we're
only brick and mortar now. But we will be very soon having a mobile element. Yes, that's all I'm gonna say right now. But you will see a lot more of us this summer. But yes, we had a second location. We closed it, and I was talking to somebody the other day, and they
the
were like,
juice
"Oh,
bus is coming. The
yep."
juice bus is coming. Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
So yeah, our thing is that we're gonna try everything, and what
Mhm.
works and what doesn't. And so we are back to Cherry Hills, our main focus. We were really small. We were very young to try to have a second location. That was hard.
I'm
And
sure.
so instead of like worrying about what somebody's gonna say or think about us, we shut it down and we kept it moving. We rallied the troops, and and we're better for it because we were able to go back. We started realizing like we didn't have our wellness shots as much. We didn't have our CMOS as much because we had too many things. It is just Mike and I now. We're building a team now, but at the
Too many
time it was
moving
Mike and I
parts. You had a lot of
with
moving parts.
full-time jobs at the time trying to manage these two stores. And it's cool because you don't ever want to like feel like you failed or whatever. And there's been so many people that said, yo, it's amazing how y'all were like, it's not working, shut it down, move on, like don't worry about it. And I was like, you didn't think that there'd be a message in that, but so many people were like, it's hard for folks to just say no, not this, and move on. We are appreciative of the opportunity. And, we just try to be transparent. I'm always like, you should always share your best and your worst so that the next
Yeah.
person can skip over it. Like that's all part of it as well. So,
I totally agree. It's like my mom, because I'm a serial entrepreneur, but she always tells me, listen, don't worry about the loss, get the lesson. It's the lesson. And so
yep.
you learn a lesson from losing or whatever you're doing, and you move on with that lesson, and that springboards you into the next move. And so
Yes.
I'm very glad that you can lick your wounds and keep it going, and don't worry about what people say.
Yep.
Long as you stay in Cherry Hill. Now, if you move out of Cherry Hill, we're gonna have to talk.
Yeah.
But
Now listen,
long as Michael Battle in Cherry Hill, that's everybody's happy. So
I
you
always
go all the way to the other spot.
you as long
Cherry
as
Hill.
you can go to sleep with your decisions, then
That's
you're
it.
doing. I feel like as long as these babies can look up and be proud of us every day, no matter what our decisions are. My step babies, I have a lot of them. My youngest one is Daylin. She just shouted me out right now on a text. But I feel like no matter what I do, I never lie to her. And so
Mm.
as long as all the choices I make are ones that I don't ever have to take pause of when I talk to her or her brother or her sisters, like then I know that we're making good choices. At the end of the day, my business partner is my life partner, and we have to lay down together. And if one of us is stirring because we've done something that's not good, then everything is going to be off. So we just move forward together, and we are honest with each other, which is not always easy, because I told him when we both went full time with Rich, I said, now listen, some days I'm gonna have to talk to you as just the boss, and I need to quit this job because it gets on my nerves. And he was laughing, and then he thought about it, and he was like, that's real. And I was like,
That's real. The boss gets on your nerves.
yeah, like I was like, sometimes I'm gonna be on my own nerves because I just want to go out and have a good time. And so
Mhm.
even like in being married and doing this work is that having like healthy boundaries. We have a set time of day where we do not talk about Rich. We talk about each
Mm.
other. It's warm. We go on walks. We take the dog. We dream. We, love on each other. Like, because otherwise, because this is our heart and our passion, it can become all consuming. And so we work really hard to make sure that we have time that we pray together and time that we play together. And then the rest is work.
Sis, you on here showing out. I am telling you, I love it, but you are showing out, and I'm sick of you and Mike. I just love it. Y'all up here showing up in my face. I don't even like it no more. This is beautiful. I love what you're saying, because we got to see these type of partnerships, and the children need to see it. They need to see that this is a married couple that, respect each other. They play together. You work together. You build together. You sleep together. What more best is that for these young people to even see that? It's a beautiful thing. And then you're creating together. I am, I'm a little jealous right now, and I love it. Because as Black women, it's hard for us to partner up real well. We're having hard time partnering, and that's the hardest thing for a Black woman right now. And for you to have a partner that you're doing this with, listen, you got superpower going on. Keep it up. Keep loving on each other, and keep the relationship. The relationship is most important. Don't let nothing come in between that. And so I love what I'm hearing. You got to love on my mama. So somebody else is on here.
Baby, that's my baby. She keep me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, you got these people. And here go Mike. Play together. I like that. I bet you do. Get off of here. So I just love y'all relationship. I always did, though. I see you guys out, and it's just a lot of respect. And you have fun. When you have fun with your mate, baby.
Listen. Our first date, we were riding bikes through a store I'm not gonna name because I boycott it right now. But we rode bikes in the middle of a store, like took them right off the racks, like
that did Walmart.
And I think both of us.
Listen,
y'all, I didn't meet him until I was 35. Like,
what?
I was single for a very long time. We did not meet. What's funny is we'd actually been around each other a lot of times and didn't know it. I led a Bible study for this small church and when I went to his first family reunion, like a first family function, women from my Bible study were at the family function. Like one of his cousins I knew since she was just a little old pud. Like, and like we worked on
God
a painting.
Was y'all aligned.
But
God was setting it up. Yeah.
He had to go make my babies. You know what I'm saying? Like we had things that we had to do before we could be together. So, when you think about like singleness, the reality is that sometimes the Lord is working on you. Sometimes the Lord is working on your mate. And sometimes the Lord is just building the foundation that you need to build everything on. So you can't rush that. You just got to have faith that if it's for you, that it will be. And sometimes your dreams aren't for you. You know what I mean? Like, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a life full of abundance, but you have to like yield to the fact that like his plans are greater than yours. If we had got all the plans that we wanted, we wouldn't have Rich. We wouldn't be pouring in Cherry Hill. We'd be in a whole different trajectory right now. So sometimes those no's are blessings for not just you, but for the people that he has to use you for.
Now you're a pastor. Now I'm getting sick of you. You know what? I'm just sick of you.
I don't know why you gave me no time to talk. I'm gonna get it in.
You don't want for speaker. You wifey, your mother. Now this is too much. I'm not gonna be able to handle all that's going on this show tonight. But yeah, you leaving it. You got my comments popping. Let me tell you. She said, "Me too. I'm fighting the air. We mad at y'all because y'all are just too good to be true." And here you go. Sheesh. Whatever. I love this. Love it. He's your cheerleader. This is too much. But that's how it's got to be. And I've been to your fundraiser that you have like at the end of the year. I see that. I look the people that show up, what you guys bring to the table. It's just a beautiful thing. And it doesn't seem like it's rehearsed. It seems like it's real. And so that's what we love. I love about Rich. I love Danielle and Michael. I just love what y'all are doing. What's next?
Well,
I hear the bus. The bus is coming.
So, listen, our whole point is that we are light in dark places. That's our tagline. And so we are right now building a lighthouse. And so next year you'll get to see where we shine it. We're always growing, sometimes more than I might want to, but I'm with an innovator. And so he's an innovator and I'm a creator. So he'll think of something and I'm never going to let him down. Right. Like, so I make sure that whatever he comes up with, that I work as hard as I possibly can to bring it to fruition. So our next stop is the lighthouse. And if you know, you know, and if you don't, you will.
Listen, so I'm putting my Disney. Y'all better invite me so we can put that out to people. Yeah, invite the box so we can talk about. But I really listen. Y'all are blazing up Baltimore, and what I love more than anything, Danny, is most of the times because you're a vegan and you're always thinking natural. You're thinking, because food. Let me talk to the people. Food has to be medicine. We're using food and we're loving on food and we love to eat, but food should heal. It should be something that gives the body energy and it should heal. It should not be something that's making you sick. So you're eating food that's making you sick. You got to look at that. We got to eat better. And I don't eat meat neither. I've been like that this is probably my 7th year. So I really love that space, but I don't try to put it on anyone else. Because that's not how a person becomes a vegan or a vegetarian. It has to be a choice because you're not going to just go out here and buy some food. There's nowhere to go to the drive-through. I only eat at home. So it's a lifestyle. And I juice every morning too. Me and my mom, I'm here with my 85-year-old mother. She cuts up the cucumbers and cuts up. Girl, we doing it. We got a Coovings. So we in here putting the hopper in. You know the deal. We cutting it up and clean. You got to clean the juicer. So we don't even know how the process to make juice. Like we're drinking concentrated juice that's really not good for us. But if you make some real juice, you see why. It's a process.
It's a process.
It's a process. We got to clean that juicer. It's not easy, baby.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It is definitely worth it.
Yeah.
It is. It definitely, if you walk in, if you've never had a cold pressed juice before, like come in and try it. We pressed apple juice like right in front of a bunch of little kids once at Arundel Elementary. And I was like, we were like, what do you notice that's different about this apple juice? And they're like, is it a different color? Like we had them walk through the whole thing and then they tasted it and their little minds were blown. And they were like, this tastes like an apple. That's the one thing we always hear when we give apple juice to little kids is they're like, this tastes like an apple. And you don't realize how much concentrated apple juice doesn't even taste like apples. It tastes like apple juice.
But it's
it's a distinct flavor. I mean, flavor, but it doesn't taste like apples. And so that's the big thing. Yeah. And food is huge, right? Like food is love, food is life, food is a lot of different things,
Especially to people. We come to food to have fun. We bring food in the Black people, we're doing everything with food, baby. Our cookouts, whatever we do, food is involved. Food is love for us. We extend
it really is for all people. Like all people have a culture that's really steeped in around food. That's like whenever you think about like when it's the multicultural fair or this or that, whenever even on stereotypical levels, there's always food involved, right?
You're right.
Because food undergirds culture. And so, a big thing that we do when we do talk about making changes is being okay with, especially for Black people in America, you get people who are like, listen, my grandmother ate chitlins, my great grandmother ate chitlins. And I'm not knocking chitlins, but I
live with one. And I can't, say the same thing. I'm going to die from something. These tropes that we use.
Right.
So we can
what we forget is that some of the foods that we eat were because of survival.
Yes.
And so shout out to us for turning waste into things that have become wanted and desired by everyone, right? But as we move forward in a country where we know that healthcare is there's a void between us and authentic healthcare. When we think about like our lifespans and things like that, is that there's nothing wrong with kind of tweaking the culture a little bit more and leaning into things that support and take care of us, right? Because there's plenty of things out there that are fun or things that we love that we don't do anymore because we're older and we know that doesn't sustain a good life, right? And so as much as I'm not knocking chitlins, because chitlins to me are a huge part of our story and our survival, I'm not going to eat them. Even when I did eat meat, that wasn't my thing. But I don't ever want to knock or put a separation between something that people love. But I want us to be mindful that some of the cultures that we have as Black Americans are steeped in survival.
Yeah.
You know,
And
we're steeped,
colonization.
yes,
It
right,
comes from a place of hurt. And we're
yeah,
still digesting this hurt and this food. And yes, it does taste good because we make anything good, but it doesn't
yes,
mean it's good for the body.
right,
And so as we, especially as we get older, you got to find a way to atone food with your body, with your blood type. All that's important. And so I'm not saying I'm not eat all the meat you want, but be careful about consuming something that does not build your body, does not give you good health. And so there's no steak better than you. There's no piece of chicken that's better than you. And that's what I tell people all the time is like, listen, I don't know if that pizza is better than you. And so we just have to, kind of, it's a hard conversation to have, especially in these traditional families. I'm down south, baby. They eat
listen,
meat for breakfast, dinner,
listen.
lunch,
Mother
everything is around me.
hand the way that she get mad sometimes at my veganism. But the thing is, and that's why I tell people, I'm like, it's not a diet, right? Like veganism, that is a moral decision.
It is a
That
decision.
deals with animal agriculture, that deals with keeping the earth sustained. Like there's a lot more that goes into it, because do chicken wings taste good? Most definitely. A little brisket. I didn't forget. I don't have amnesia. I'm a Midwestern girl. I was raised on meats, potatoes, and cheese. Like I'm a thick mama. I know how I built all the thick that I have. So I don't discredit that. I just say, like, this is, as I've learned more, these are my choices that I make. Cause again, you gotta go to bed at night and get rest. Right. And I sleep well, believing in all my choices. And so I'll educate people, ask me all the time. They want to know a little something. And I think I'm a safe space because I'm not trying. Now I will push Meatless Monday to everybody I know. Because if we all did Meatless Monday, we could save the earth wholeheartedly, right? So, Meatless Monday. But like, aside from that, like, I'm not, even down to like chitlins. If you have chitlins at your house, I'm not going to come. I'm coming. I'm celebrating all the pieces of Blackness. I'm here. I'm not going to eat it, but I'm here. And so I feel like sometimes as we learn, especially as Black people, because we've been kept, there's so much gatekeeping from us, right? That when we learn, we get so excited that we almost create voids. And so I never want to do that. I never, ever want to feel like I'm doing something that's better than anything else. I'm just doing what works for me. I'm an empath. I have a big old heart. So there's certain things that once I learn them, I can't not do anything about that. And so I don't, all of this, right? Like everybody's not designed to give their time to go to a neighborhood that they weren't born in and treat it like they were birthed in the center, right? That's me. That's what I'm gonna do, And so my thing is, there's something that's gnawing in each of us. There's something that's niggling around in everybody's brain that you go and figure out what that is, and you develop that. Like, holla at your girl. I'll help you as best I can, right? Develop it. Like, if we all did what we were designed to do, the healing of not just our communities, but this world would be like miraculous. And so, it doesn't have to be, I don't have a podcast. I don't do Black Box Radio. I'm all over the place. It's ADHD, get on fire. I'm talking about 57 things at once, right? But that's what you do, and you make a huge difference with that. And that's how we're designed.
That's my contribution. Yes. Yeah. And I agree with that. It's like we all got to look at what we can bring to the table to help our community. Yes. And you're correct with this veganism. Some people can turn people off. I have to go to the country. My cousin died, so they're gonna have that steak on that pig on the steak, baby. That pig gonna be rolling, and I'm gonna dance right by it. But that's what they eat, and so I don't try to tell folks you don't eat it. That's what you like. It's okay. But we got to look at some ways to move past the way we've traditionally ate. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Because my family would take some chitlins down, baby. Believe that.
Mine will too. My little sister always says, you just don't yuck anybody's yum. And I was like, I love that. You don't yuck. I don't yuck your yum. Now I'm going to tell you what I know. And I'm going to paint a picture, and hopefully it kind of shifts you, but I'm not going to yuck your yum,
Oh, listen, that's
nice?
Like, oh my goodness. I got to write it down so it can stay here. It's going to be, that is a don't yuck someone's yum.
Yep.
Well, I love that. Your sister, she's insightful. Is she a vegan also?
Not at all. Not at all. She's a stone cold foodie, head to toe.
Not at all. You said not. That's why she said, I don't want to hear you. Don't yuck
Yeah.
my yum.
So she loves it, like she now she has a podcast. The other day she was talking about, I think my sister was ahead of the game because she knows how to cook without eggs. Everybody's struggling with the egg situation. And she was like, Danny's always known how to, for the last decade almost, she knows how to manipulate every single meal that needs an egg without an egg. So, and she loves my cooking. She'll make, when I come to visit her, she makes all vegan meals. So yeah. But so yeah, so it's but I think that's how we were raised, is that you just, you gotta love on people where they are. And if they move closer to where you want them to be, that's awesome. And if they don't, that's okay too. Like, I'm just here to love on you, and love is transformational. So
I love it. So tell folks the address to the juice bar so they can come through there in the hours, so they can show up and pull up and get that cookie butter.
Yes. So the Rich Juice Bar is at 630 Cherry Hill Road. It's right in the Cherry Hill Town Center. Come through. We are open Monday through Saturday. Monday through Friday, we are open from 9:30 to 6:30. Sorry, 9 to 6:30. And then on Saturdays, we are 9 to 4.
9 to 4. Actually, off on no Sunday and Mondays, right?
Off on Sunday. We're open Mondays now. Yep.
Oh, yeah, because I rode my bike there one time and y'all was closed. I was so mad.
We used to be closed because it was we didn't have enough staffing, and we weren't good enough with the juicing that we needed to small. But now that we're rolling, now we have like a pattern. Once we know more, we do more, and once we do more, we give more. So
I get it.
But Sunday, we give Sunday to the Lord. So
oh, yeah, of course. I can hear that. And you're dealing in a business that has perishable. Fruit doesn't last forever, and so you really got to get that fruit out. So you got to know what you're doing, and you don't want nothing to spoil. So now you guys are in a good space. What is this? 3 years, 5 years? How long? 2 years?
No, 3 years? This has been 2.5 years.
2.5. So almost in 3.
Almost
wow. 3. Beautiful, beautiful. And now I can't wait for the bus. I'm gonna dance up to that. I can't wait. So that's what's up. Yes. Put that thing on wheels and get to some people who normally would not juice.
Yep.
And so I really love that. And a lot of times juice bars aren't African American. And so yeah, and you guys are Black people in a Black neighborhood with the Black bus, baby.
And that's the thing, because there's people that when we opened, somebody was interviewing us, and the woman said, at the time our juices were smaller and they were $8. And this woman said in front of everyone at our grand opening, do you really think that people in Cherry Hill are going to pay $8 for a juice?
How did she now?
And I said, most definitely. I said, see, it's people like you who think that the hood don't deserve great things. I said, everybody's willing to pay top price for great things, and this is a great thing, and it deserves to be in Cherry Hill. And when I say Cherry Hill has never let us down, there are juice bars that can't make it through winters. We've made it through 2.
And this one was a hard one. This was one of the worst ones we've been in. It's been cold.
And when when people wanted to bring us on, we our juice is sold at Bar Vegan. And we posted that, hey, we're in Bar Vegan. And we the first week we were like, how'd it go? Because who's buying a juice when you're trying to get drinks? It's a bar. And lady was like, it started pretty good. And by the end of the week, people were just coming in talking about I need a rich juice. And I was like, well, shout out to our community for going over the bridge and being like, no, give me one of those juices, and paying the same amount for a little glass that you do in the store, because you want us to do well. I do not take light of the fact that Cherry Hill shows up for us all the time. And that's what happens, because that's community. People don't think that community is in corners like Cherry Hill, but that's some of the strongest community. And so that's why we are always giving back, is because they're always giving to us. They always show up. I cried when the lady told me. I was like, oh my gosh, Cherry Hill. I had TikTok folks that came through. People rally around folks. And that's what the news will never tell you.
Yeah.
We're always going to rally for each other and be there, and I love that. And I don't take it lightly.
And I'm fine with the news, not Tanya, because that gives me my space. That gives me my niche, is to walk into Black spaces and talk about us in a total way, in an authentic way. And we got to understand that we are building, you guys are building community. When you pour into something, it pours back. And that's what you see. Because if they go over to Bar Vegan, trust me, that's not Black. That's a whole nother little station on the other side. So if you walk in there, first of all, you're gonna pay. No, ain't cheap. It's not cheap in there. And so for them to show up and do that, it means a lot. It definitely means a lot. And listen, we love Cherry Hill. I'm gonna say it right here. We love Cherry Hill. And there's more communities like that. If you know communities all over this country that are like that, please show up for them. Stand 10 toes into these communities and build community. It's not hard.
Invest in it. Don't be afraid to invest in the community, because our second location should have been the moneymaker, right?
Right.
Technically, it should have been the moneymaker. And Cherry Hill ran circles around the harbor. And circles around the harbor.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, circles. Like Cherry Hill kept the harbor afloat by far. Yeah. No, people show up and people come in all the time. It makes you emotional. It makes me emotional because they really, really show up and show out for us, you know. And I mean, we have great product, that's true, but a lot of people have great product and it doesn't make it, you know.
You're consistent. And the young people, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed when I'm walking in, those young, and they're nice. You know, you go to the Burger King, them young people are like, "Can I help you?" And they got that. I'm like, "Why are you so angry?" But these kids are smiling, they're happy, they're talking to each other. And young people staffing and running things. It's a beautiful thing to see. We always talk about, I'm talking about real young. These is youth.
Yeah. 14.
We're not talking about 20-year-old, we're talking about young folks. And so when they're coming to work and they're really, you know, they're being congenial, and they know the product. You know, I tested them one time at my acai bowl. They knew that product, baby. They was like, "Miss, we got it, ma'am." I was like, no problem. And because I said I want my coconut flakes, she was like, "Well, do you want it on the side?" But they're natural. And I said, "Oh my gosh, these kids know what they're doing." And so it's inspiring. And in a neighborhood that one time I think they thought they were forgotten. So it's a beautiful thing. And listen, Danny, I am so happy to have you. We're an hour and 12 minutes, and I can talk to you forever because you speak in paragraphs. So we definitely can talk forever because I like to talk. You like to talk. I love it. But, you know, I really appreciate you taking this time and being a part of this series because I needed to have some social entrepreneurship. And I mean, but you do so much. You're an educator. We didn't even talk. We saw you speak. You've been a pastor here. You know, you've been doing it all. You do. We know that you speak well, but you speak. Actually, you do that at conferences. So you just came from one I saw on Facebook. So you're doing a lot of speaking and a lot of outreach. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to touch people and fly out and touching folks. So you talk about Cherry Hill everywhere, eh? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what's up. That is totally what's up. So I'm excited to see what the Rich program is going to conjure up. If anything BLAKWomen Radio can do for you guys, please call on us. Let us be a part of whatever you're having. I was a part of your grand open. You let me come in the day before, so I appreciate that. And that was amazing. And Mr. Juan Juice, I call Juan Juice. So, Mr. Nance. Juan Juice was there. So that was a real nice kind of interaction. And really, the last thing, you use food and you skinny mini. You ain't no thick. You used to be thick, but look at them shoulders. Ain't nothing thick over there.
That was a lot of intentionality. Like next time you see me, I better thicken back up. Like I'm a natural thick girl now.
It is what it is. You know, we go from thick to thin in a blink of an eye, baby.
I'm into that age where that thick be trying to win.
I'm telling you, you know, when it get cold, that thickness come in handy, baby.
That's right.
So I get it.
That's why too. You need to change your handle because you know I'm Black, thick, and vegan. They were like, I said, no. I said, see, as soon as you try to change it, that's when it creep right back up on you. I said, I'm Black, thick, and vegan until the day I die, baby.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, I like that Black, thick, and vegan. That's what's up. And yeah, but you Black, thin, and vegan now, sweetie. Them shoulders, that ain't nothing thick over there. I'm looking over there, but that's a beautiful thing, and it's natural. You look good. You still shiny. I see your forehead still shiny. You're doing good, baby. You're looking good over there. You're doing real good. So listen, when I come in town, next week. I'm gonna come over there and get my acai bowl because the family, the comments they say is the butter is everything.
Yep.
Oh, I'm coming to get my cookie butter. Yeah, because I love me some cookies. So I'm coming over. I really appreciate you being so transparent and definitely just putting these deposits, these jewel deposits you done dropped tonight. But I need you to leave your last jewel with the people. Inspire us.
I will. But first, I want to say thank you for giving a safe space for folks. You know, I've always had a big mouth, and it's not always a safe space to like voice your full self in places. And I will say, even when Mike was on here and when we talked about some things before, like it's nice to be somewhere where you know you can go into a room and your whole self is welcome. And that's huge. So as a Black woman, especially, I thank you tremendously for that.
Appreciate you.
My jewel is, I think it's before, is that if you watch this and you were like, oh my goodness, right? And you feel a little bit of inspiration, just tonight, just lay down and think about what's that thing that gets your heart churning. Like start there, because I didn't think the first time I took my first teaching job in Southeast DC that it was going to lead to this, that it was going to change and transform me. I didn't think when I bought my first house in a hole right outside of Pigtown that it was going to lead to this. Like sometimes when you take a step, take a step boldly, because what's happening is it's your transformation to get you to where God needs to put you. So just step boldly. That's all I got.
And that's a lot. Yeah, listen, I done seen every piece of you. I didn't know all of this was here. I didn't know. I didn't know about all of this. That pastor part and this is. I didn't know all of that. So I didn't saw me. I saw a lot. So I think really the next one is going to be you and Mike, because it's hard to put. We need a couples thing because he in the chat, you're here. It's like both of y'all are together. So I love it. I love it. So listen, keep doing the tough work. The tough work is to love on our community when no one else will love on and no one else cares. And we're that's what we do. We're in space with the community. So I keep doing this work, and I appreciate you, appreciate Mike. And when I come up, I'm definitely going to do a shout out about the butter for sure.
Yes.
For real. No, so guys, listen, I need you guys to like, share, subscribe. I will say it again, like, share, subscribe. We need to build this channel, this space, this authentic space for all of this grassroots content where we invite Black people in. And as Danny said, you can be your full self. And that's what we do all the time. So listen, please tap in, pull up, and subscribe. And leave a comment. Talk to me. Tell me something. And so we really appreciate everybody. This is the Black Women History Month Series 2025. This is 4 of 10. Danielle Battle. She's been in the house. She's lit the house up. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Guys, you guys have a good night. We out of here. You don't go nowhere, Danny. Everybody else, we out of here. Deuces. Hit that deuces. You got to give us some deuces. That's right. We out of here, guys. Y'all have a good night. And listen, is it cold in Baltimore? I'm not there.
Today was in the 60s.
Well, enjoy Baltimore. Everyone, wherever you are, have a good night. Good night.